meeting. The purpose of today's meeting is to formally elect the chairperson and for the chairperson to start taking charge of the meeting and looking at the way forward. I have an indication that the parties have submitted names to the legislature, and the representation for this committee is Honorable M. Govender, Honorable M. Govender, Honorable S.C. Nkosi, Honorable S. Sonjika, Honorable S. Mchali, Honorable B.N. Nchangase, Honorable MPP Zungu, Honorable M. Kaula, Honorable O.B. Kunene, Honorable F.A. Rogers, Honorable M.W. Twala, and Honorable S. Thakur Rajbansi. Looking at the names on the list, I see that all members are present. I will then move to item 2 to confirm that from the Secretariat. Ms. Mfunu. Tembeka.
Good afternoon, honorable members. Good afternoon, Secretary. Yes, in terms of the attendance, we do have a majority of members as we've counted them. So we definitely are correct. In terms of receiving the apologies, we haven't received any apologies.
Thank you. We then move to item number 3. The meeting is then duly constituted. We have 11 members and all 11 members are present. We then move to item 4, adoption of the agenda. Can I please get a mover from one of the members for adoption?
Proposed, Honorable Chairperson.
I have Honorable Kunene proposing. I see Honorable Governor's hand.
I second that, Chairperson.
Thank you. We then move on to item number 5, election of the chairperson. Can I please get nominations? Honorable Nchangasi. Over to you, Honorable Nchangasi. I'm seeing the hand of Honorable Nchangasi. I'm calling for nominations.
Yes, can I nominate Honorable Maggie Govender?
Thank you. Honorable Govender is nominated to be chair. Can I have a seconder? I see Honorable Zungu.
Greetings, honorable members. Thank you, Chairperson, for the opportunity. I would like to second the name of Honorable Govender as the chair of the Adhoc Committee.
Thank you. Honorable Governor, do you accept?
Yes, thank you, Chairperson.
Thank you. Honorable Governor accepts. Do I have any further nominations?
How? Where no pala? Governor was about double chair.
Honorable Kaula, do I have any?
Was about double chair, Governor.
Are there any other nominations for chairperson of this committee, the Adhoc Committee on Investigations? I therefore close nominations and declare Honorable Governor to be the chairperson of the Adhoc Committee on Investigations. Honorable Governor, I now hand over to you to deal with item number 6, which is the committee mandate. Item number 7, way forward. Congratulations and well done.
Thanks, Secretary. Well, colleagues, thank you very much for this election. I heard Honorable Kaula, and yes, Honorable Kaula, it will be a responsibility, but I think seeing that this committee did originate from SCOPA, it would assist, and I can see that we have, SCOPA members in the main who are present, not exclusively though, so I'm sure we will all work well together and proceed. This committee has a short mandate. It's we have to complete our work within the period of a year, and We also have to, our mandate is to look at, in terms of the resolution adopted by the House, because this is a legislature committee, a committee constituted from the House, I would say, put it that way. We have to look at investigations within provincial departments in the current term, and to look at what is outstanding. You will see members, I think it's the wrong terms of reference here, Secretary. We've got agriculture flighted. Can we just get the correct terms of reference flighted, please? It's terms of reference for the Adhoc Committee on Investigations. Okay, while they're getting that sorted out, as I was saying, we then have to look at those investigations. We're not conducting them, but the intention is to ensure that, there we are, right. So colleagues, you will see in terms of the introduction, what is being stated here is that these investigations, I'm summarizing, are dealing with fraud. The investigations we're looking at are both forensic and internal investigations, and the concern is that they've been on the increase in recent times. We are going to be covering incidents that have occurred. Our concern is that incidents have occurred several years ago, but the investigations are taking very long to conclude. We all know this. And what we also have as a concern is that some of the investigations are concluded, but it would appear that public entities and departments are actually slow in implementing their recommendations or implement the recommendations selectively. And this then results in the complaint that we all have, which is the lack of consequence management. And there are obviously negative audit findings. Plus, we also have the issue about almost like a kind of tolerance towards criminal behavior or other forms of misconduct by government officials. And we also find that there are quite often irrecoverable financial losses because there hasn't been swift enough intervention and appropriate action taken against offenders identified in investigations. Then there's also a failure to address the inadequate systems of control and a failure to implement adequate risk management strategies because recommendations of investigative reports are quite often not implemented. So this is why SCOPA then put forward the proposal as a resolution that an ad hoc committee be established. Can we move up, please? And what we then, the House then adopted this recommendation on the 23rd of July. We are now in October, so we're quite some time past the adoption. But the ad hoc committee will be established for a period of 12 months. And these are the functions and duties of our committee. We must oversee the progress and finalization of all forensic and other internal or external investigations. We are overseeing, we're not conducting these investigations. And these are all forensic. I just want the time frame so that we are clear about this, that at the time of the establishment of the committee, the implementation of the recommendations that emanate from the investigations, as well as from investigations that were concluded before the committee was established. So, you know, the ones that carry through in the audit findings. Then the duty to oversee investigations included, but is not limited to reviewing, assessing, and reporting on the following: progress made in the completion of investigations underway and timeframes for their finalization, reasons for delays in finalizing investigations, and steps taken to remedy this, timeframes for the implementation of remedial action and whether the steps are adequate, and where the delay in finalizing an investigation is attributable to any official, whether disciplinary steps have been taken and whether steps are adequate. This one is actually very, very important because quite often you find that internal audit will tell us they've completed the report, but it has to go to the accounting officer or whoever for comment before they submit the final report to a department, and there are delays there. There are also often delays in internal audit and other units. Then we also will look at the steps taken to fully implement the recommendations, timeframes, and finalization. And then whether the steps taken to implement recommendations of investigative reports are adequate or appropriate and timely, including initiating disciplinary action against erring officials, recoveries of monies or losses, initiating criminal charges, and any other intervention. So we have to go through things with a fine-tooth comb. We've got to look at the reasons for any delay or failure to fully implement all recommendations. So they can't pick and choose. Steps taken to remedy this and timeframes for remedial action and implementation of recommendations. And then we look at, in G, the issue of cost recovery. In H, whether, again, the failure or delay in implementing the recommendations can be attributed to any official and whether the disciplinary steps have been taken, etc. And in I, whether any other interventions or controls were put in place to prevent a recurrence or to address any shortcomings in policies, etc. Then the committee has to report to the House and to SCOPA every 3 months. We'll just want some guidance from Secretary. Will it be 3 months from today or 3 months from July? Because we haven't sat. And the first report to be tabled within 3 months from date of establishment of the committee. Oh, I see. So it will be 3 months from October. And the final report to be tabled at the end of the 12-month period for which the committee is established and as and when requested or resolved by SCOPA. Then there is provision for the terms of reference to be reviewed, and this can be done by SCOPA and the committee. Amendments can be recommended, and these would have to go to the House for approval. So, members, this is what you have in a nutshell. We'll just get Secretary to outline to us what capacity have we been given for this committee as well, because I think that is important. Secretary, we will require quite high-level capacity, Secretary.
Thank you, Chairperson. I'm just trying to find the document that I was sent. Okay. Okay. I've been advised that for this committee, the coordinator is going to be Tembeka Mtunu. She's present. The cluster manager is going to be Kwazi Dlamini. The researcher is going to be Lindo Kujle Mlaba. And the legal advisor is going to be Eric Ruet and Stay Nzele. Thank you, Chair.
Okay. Thank you very much. I think that is a good team that we have with us. Colleagues, do you want to make any comments? Because this is the last but one item on the agenda. Honorable Kunena? Honorable Kunena?
Honorable Chairperson, I just wish to get clarity on frequency of the meetings of this ad hoc committee, and that we must, once meetings are scheduled, take into account the commitment of members to other committees as one has. And also it would be good if the names that were listed, the capacity that was mentioned by the secretary is sent to us by email form, so that one knows who the names, because I could not follow all the names that particularly I've not served in this committee. I've heard you, Chairperson, saying it's a good team. I don't know whether it's a good team because I've not worked with them. It will be good to know who, in terms of an email, the names that the Secretary has listed. Thanks, Chairperson.
No, thanks for that, Honorable Kunena. I think that is a useful point. Yes, we'll have to get Tembeka to circulate the list of members of the committee as well as our support team. Can we, colleagues, let's put this to, assign this task to the coordinator and the cluster manager to give us a schedule of meeting dates, ensuring that they are not going to be clashing with other commitments of members, because what we don't want is to set ourselves up for failure. Remember, our first report is due within 3 months, and we then obviously would have to meet at least, I would think, a minimum of once a month, if not more, because there are a lot of investigations as well that we would have to go through. But can we ask Tembeka and Kwazi, if you can, work out a schedule of dates for us, at least for the next meeting, and we can then have that schedule tabled to members. I've seen the hand of Honorable Thakur Rajvansi, but let me just get a response from the support team first.
Chair, this is Tembiso.
Yes, sir.
Thank you, Chair. We are certainly looking at the dates for the meetings of the 2 ad hoc committees, and I'll be sitting with your team to identify the slots, and we'll make the request then to the Speaker to approve such. But in terms of the calendar for next year, we are already working that in because that calendar is not adopted yet. But we will definitely circulate the dates to the committee. Thank you very much, Chair.
Chairperson.
Honorable Rajvansi.
Yeah, thank you, Chairperson, and congratulations. What I'm just checking, because we have this limited period of a year and we don't know the volume of the work that will come in, but just based on your terms of reference and the fact that we basically are doing an oversight on the investigations, I think that somewhere along the line in the dates that the officials are looking at, we should get some sort of training just based on issues, in view of the terms of reference and the sort of specific areas we have to be trained on or the skills we require. But maybe, we can leave it to yourself and some of the officials to see how that can be done. But I think it would be important, especially when it comes to like fraud and risk management, but something like that kind of training that would give us a good skill set to actually deal with a lot of these matters. Thank you.
Thanks for your comments, Honorable Rajvansi. We'll note that and then look at what is possible. Remember, we're working with because of the COVID-19 pandemic as well as other things, restricted time frame, so we might have to combine things. But can we also then say that, and again, I'll call on the support team, Kwazi, if you can follow up, if you can bring the researcher on board, Lindo, because I see he's not in the meeting. What we need for him is to actually start doing some work of pulling together, all the investigations in the different departments, etc. So at least by the next meeting, we get a picture of what is there that we have to follow up on. And can we also get the terms of reference as well as the list of members circulated to all members of the committee, so everybody has that with them?
Noted, Chair. We'll attend to that.
Yes. Okay. I think, colleagues, for the first meeting, those would be the main things that we would cover. I think everybody needs to just go through the terms of reference as well. And Lindo will have to do some preliminary work so that the next meeting is not a meeting where we're just discussing. We also have some information to work with, at least a status report that can be presented to us, and we can work from that. And we can decide on the modus operandi of whether we do this in meetings, we focus department by department on the whole lot, what it is. But I think let's do that in the next meeting. And let me also interact with the support team so that come the next meeting, we have things in front of us. Colleagues, would that be all right? Because this is a short meeting and we are actually now on the last item, which is closure.
Thank you, Chair.
Thanks,
Great.
Honorable Sonjika.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye. Okay. Thanks,
Bye.
everyone. Can
Thank
we
you,
just
Chair.
urge that the next meeting be sooner rather than later? That is the thing. Okay?
True. Yeah.
Yeah.
Thanks,
Right.
Honorable Chair.
Thank you. Thank you, everyone, for being present. Thank you, Secretary, for convening this meeting. I think you now have got us on the path to getting some work going. Okay.
Thank you, Chair.
Thank you. We can then close the meeting. Thank you, members.
Thank you.
Thanks, Honorable Chairperson.
Bye, everyone.